Well, Morgan, at least 27 people have died following this weekend's winter weather, which brought record-breaking snow and ice to much of the country. 19 states from the Southwest to New England saw more than 15 inches of snow. Experts are now warning of life-threatening risks like hypothermia. More than 170 million people across the country are still under those extreme cold warnings as the East Coast now braces for yet another storm system. It could bring more snow and freezing temperatures as far south as Florida. NBC News meteorologist Angie Lassman joins us now. So, Angie, a lot of people spending some time outside today because they've got to shovel snow and clean up. How are temperatures for folks today?
You know, honestly, Vicki, we don't have a whole lot of improvement, and that's really going to be the story for an extended period. We could see 10 more days in places like New York City where we don't even get above freezing. That potentially could get in record-breaking territory for that. So we'll be, of course, keeping a close eye on when we can actually start to see a little bit of melting across this region. But unfortunately, this morning and into this afternoon, we've been bitter cold, and we're going to stay that kind of same range. So 8 degrees for your high in Minneapolis, 14 for Chicago. Cincinnati topping out just today at 24 degrees. Tomorrow, again, more of the same. We've got that really bitter cold air settled into parts of the Ohio Valley. 14 degrees for Pittsburgh. We've got 12 for Milwaukee. New York City ends up at 23 degrees. This, unfortunately, is going to be the long haul for us as another kind of bout of really Arctic air starts to spill into really the eastern half of the country as we get into the end of the work week. Friday and Saturday, we could be looking at temperatures 20 to 30 degrees below normal. This, of course, takes us into the weekend, and you can see Friday in Nashville, 20s are on tap. That stays with us through Saturday. We've got just 10 degrees for your high in Columbus on Friday, and then New York City flirting with those teens. As far south as Atlanta, Saturday, your high temperature will be 37 degrees. So the long and short of it, Vicki, essentially, we are going to be looking at prolonged periods of this cold air with us for at least another week or so.
Yeah, on that note, Angie, this storm comes, and experts are actually saying, for context, this could be the longest cold spell the country has seen in several decades. Tell us about that, and what should we be expecting? How can people best make use of their time this week before the weekend storm hits again?
You know, finding anywhere that you can to stay warm, of course, is going to be our first piece of advice for you, but also staying connected on what exactly is going to happen with this kind of system here as we move into the weekend. So here's the setup for Saturday. We've got this area of low pressure. That's going to trigger this coastal storm. That means that on Saturday, heavy snow, gusty winds for the mid-Atlantic. Then as we get into Sunday, I'm sure you've seen this on your social media or in other spots where we started to talk about the potential for additional snow, an additional wintry setup for us here across the parts of the Northeast. There is potential that we could see that. One model, the European model, keeps this area of low pressure farther off coast, so that means that we don't see quite as much widespread impacts. The American model, that's a little closer to the coast, Vicki, so we're going to have to be closely watching this all the way through the end of the work week to see just how much this impacts folks in that region, but the cold is here to stay for the prolonged period.
All right, we got a few more days of this. Angie Lassman, thank you.
Thousands of travelers remain stranded after that extreme weather caused airlines to cancel flights. In fact, according to FlightAware, more than 1,800 flights to and from the United States have been canceled today alone, thousands more delayed. American Airlines, which saw the most cancellations today, blaming below freezing temperatures for the disruption, saying in an X post, teams across American are working around the clock to safely ramp up operations. NBC News correspondent Marquise Francis joins us now from Newark Liberty International Airport in neighboring New Jersey. Marquise, first up, Cirium is reporting that Sunday experienced the most cancellations since the pandemic. So what are the airports looking like today?
That's exactly right, Morgan. Sunday saw some 11,000 flight cancellations, according to FlightAware. That's 3 times the previous day, and of course, the most since the start of the pandemic. And this was all because of disastrous weather around the country, from the southern Rockies all the way to New England, dumping heavy snow, sleet, and freezing rain all across the country. But that was then, and this is now. As I look outside, the roads are beginning to clear up, and of course, that means people are now able to get on their flights, but slowly. As I look down at my laptop, so far today, 1,800 delays and 3,200 cancellations in and out of the U.S. And right here at Newark Airport, 70 cancellations and 102 delays as of this hour. And I spoke to a number of passengers and asked them how they're feeling about their journey, and there was an overwhelming feeling of anxiousness. Take a listen to what they had to say.
I've had 2 cancellations in the past 2 days, and then today my flight's been delayed 3 times. I've missed almost 3 days of work. It's just been hard.
What has your travel journey been like?
I mean, smooth so far, but just a little anxious, you know, make sure that I don't want to be stuck at the airport all day.
And it was not all doom and gloom. I spoke to one woman from Atlanta, and she actually said she was happy for the extra day. Delta was proactive in the communication, and so she's hopeful to get out today. Morgan?
So, Marquise, if your flight is canceled, what can you do? I mean, do we have any rights as passengers to get our money back?
Absolutely. I mean, Morgan, the first piece of advice is don't panic. This is not the time to kind of just will in sorrow, but to actually find a solution. I want to pull up a full screen because according to the Department of Transportation, you can actually, if your flight is canceled, you can get a full refund. Now, this is, of course, if you do not get a voucher, and then you can also get a refund if there is a significant schedule change. That's anything over 3 hours, whether the flight was delayed 3 hours late getting in. And so these, of course, are different than what happened with under President Biden. You were actually able to get compensation, but President Trump and his administration rolled that back. And so you do have some rights, but just do not get those vouchers that are, of course, enticing. But if you want your money back, just hold off. Morgan?
Hold off. Marquise Francis. All right. We appreciate you, man. Stay safe out there.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.